then you can look up that Kriya and it will tell you which page it is on.
That's the one we follow.
So yesterday, where did we get up to? We did Shanmukhi Mudra, Naumukhi Mudra. Did we get up to there? Uttan Padasana, we practice, yes.
We're missing Kaki Mudra here.
Yes, it's true, we're missing Kaki Mudra. Thank you. So now that you've mentioned it, let's talk about it. Kaki Mudra literally means crow beak. Kaki is the crow beak. And so we purse the lips lightly and we are inhaling through the mouth, exhaling through the nose. So this is utilised in Targama Kriya. Kaki Mudra, K-A-K-I. We'll have to start another column.
Sorry, K-A-K-I?
Yeah.
Kaki.
Kaki. Okay. Just squeezed in. Yeah. So I think we discussed Shanmukhi Mudra. The other name for Shanmukhi is Yoni Mudra. And it's the same thing. Sometimes the practices have several names. And Shan, as I mentioned before, means 7. Mukhi is an opening or a gate or a mouth. And like Mukh, Gomukasana. Do you know Gomukasana? Some people do, some don't. So Shanmukhi is closing of the upper gates. And what's important, not just with this practice, but with some of the practices where you have your hands on your face, particularly close to the nose, we don't push the flares of the nostrils in, we push gently behind that area. Yeah? So what happens is, even in Nari Shodhana, where you're doing alternate nostril breathing, you're not pushing the flare of the nostril, you're just lightly touching behind that area. Because when you close the flare of the nostril in, the mucosal lining pushes together and the hairs, the cilia in the nose get squashed, and then they can't move. They get squashed onto the mucosal lining. The hairs in the nose must move when you breathe, because when they're moving they send nervous impulses to the brain. So the left brain connects to the right nostril and vice versa. Yeah? So this is important to remember, not to push flare of the nostril. You can close under the nostril or just behind the nostril, but not the flare of the nostril in practice. Similar sort of thing happens with the ears. We put the thumbs in the ears. We don't push against the side of the ear. This has an effect on the heart when you push on the side of the ear.
So could you show me where you
Yeah, so not here, but actually
inside
the ear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So not to press that against the...
Yeah. That's important. One mark on my glasses. Shanmukhi Mudra. Yeah, that's probably what I wanted to say about that. And, thanks. Did you have any questions about that Shanmukhi Mudra? No? All good? So it becomes Naumukhi Mudra, closing of the 9 gates, when we employ Vajroli Sahajoli and Mulabampa, closing of the lower gates. Yeah. Shambhavi. Shambhavi. there's two Shambhavi mudras. There's Shambhavi mudra when you're gazing at the brow middle. This is a practice of Hatha Yoga. And the Shambhavi mudra kriya is when we're breathing up through Sushumna and we see the lotus flower opening and closing. Yeah. So Shambhavi is the feeling of being dead to the world. Yeah? So Shambhavi is the consort of Shambhu. In some of the kirtans we sing Shambhu Natha Jayaha. Yeah? So Shambhu is the consciousness that is dead to the world, to the external world. When we roll the eyes up to look at the brow middle, we're actually emulating a state of awareness, consciousness, which happens spontaneously as the mind goes inwards in meditation and samadhi. The eyes naturally roll up. So we're emulating that. The idea is to induce that state of mind, but it also prepares the eye muscles for that experience. When we do the Kriya Yoga, we're preparing ourselves for an experience of Kundalini when it should happen, so that the body's used to it. And as an example, when I was living in the ashram and one of the swamis, she would hold Padmasana for her meditation, and so at night she sat and she fell asleep. In the morning she was still in Padmasana. But she couldn't move her legs. You know how you get pins and needles even just sitting cross-legged. She couldn't move her legs. We had to massage her legs very slowly. It took a few hours to get her out of position because the slightest movement and the pins and needles were excruciating. Because when you're sitting in some of these asana, it restricts the flow of blood. So we do these practices to prepare for the experience. But this is an example of if you are in Padmasana and you go into an altered state and you're there for many hours, how do you get your body out again? Yeah. Yeah. And so in that way I think Shavasana is a really great pose because first of all, if you do fall asleep, there's nowhere else to fall. And secondly, you're not restricting the flow of blood. I mean, sometimes it can happen that the way you place your arms and elbows, you get pins and needles, but you know, it's not going to be as difficult as if you're in Padmasana and you go into altered states. Yeah. But they do say Padmasana is the king of poses. I think because you're locked into position and if you fall asleep, you actually don't fall over. Shambhavi. And then Nasikagra Drishti. So Nasika is the nostrils and Nasikagra is the nose tip between the point between the two nostrils. Yeah? And Drishti is to see, to look. So we're looking at the nose tip. And this is another mudra that can occur spontaneously. All the practices occur spontaneously. When you practice yoga for quite some time, you find yourself just spontaneously moving. Yeah. It happens, it's natural. And so these mudras occur. If you go into an altered state and you're there for a long time, the eye muscles are not used to this. So of course you're going to strain the eye muscles. And we practice to prepare the eyes, but at the same time, it has the effect of inducing a very specific state of mind. And have you noticed that with the Manduki Kriya that we do, where we're focusing on the sense of smell as well as the gaze here, you go into quite a blissful state and you want to stay there, and then I say, out you come. Come outside and play. Kids are inside all the time and kick them out. Yeah. So it's important to understand when you practice that Kriya at home and you just want to stay there because it's so blissful, that's actually not the purpose to stay there. Move on. The fact that you're feeling blissful is an indication to move on. Yeah, my teacher used to say that in Hindi, it's chalo, chalo, keep moving. Keep moving. Nasikagra. Mula Bandha, I think everyone understands about Mula Bandha, and I was talking about the muscles yesterday, so the pubococcygeal muscles, pulling them in, pulling them up. This is Mula Bandha. The word mula means the base, the root, like a root vegetable, like a potato or a carrot, something that's in the earth, and it's a root. So then bandha is locking the root energy. Yeah. Bandha means to lock. Jalandhar bandha, locking the throat. Udiyana bandha. Udiyana means to lift. So you're lifting the diaphragm and stomach area. You're lifting that in and up. And we use the Udiyana band in which Kriya? Yeah, the one after that, yeah, Mahaveda. Mahaveda mudra. Sometimes it's written Mahaveda mudra. It's a different mudra. Mahaveda is explained in the Hatha Yoga Pradipika. Hello.
Lost.
We know you.
Padma.
We
Sorry,
know
I think I was asking at 3:30. I guess I'm completely out of it. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Swamiji.
We swapped it around.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
apologize.
that's all right. You're allowed to be confused.
Oh,
You
good.
weren't here, is why.
No, okay. Yeah.
So Uddiyana is sort of lifting the,
Yes, so we pull the diaphragm area in towards the spine and then we lift it slightly.
what is that meant to do?
So the purpose of all of the bandhas are to pull the energy inwards and upwards. Now, at the energetic level in the pranamaya kosha, you have prana vayu, or prana vayu. That can be a general word or a very specific word. The energy current, vayu means current, of prana vayu is flowing down. Sorry, the energy current is flowing up. We want it to flow down. We want to reverse it. The apana vayu below it is flowing down. So these two energies move away from each other at the level of Manipur. There's a balanced energy flow in the middle, and this is samana. Through these three bandhas together, we increase the samana. Samana indicates it's good for digestion, so by creating a balance at the level of samana, we're increasing our capacity to digest. We're pulling up the apana, which is always flowing down towards the earth, so we're reversing that. And we're working with the prana, moving this down. And so when you do the Uddiyana bandhas, sometimes you feel a lot of heat in this area. Has anyone felt that heat? Yeah. And so that's an indication of increasing the samana vayu. There's two other main vayus. One moves up from the throat and it enables facial expression, and the entirety of all these energy currents is vyana. So these are the five main vayus, energy currents in the body. There are sub-prana vayus as well. Mula bandha, Jalandhar bandha, Uddiyana bandha. We use this in Mahaveda mudra. And so we're pulling those energies together at this point. When you release, this is when you can often feel that heat in the middle of the body just expanding out. In Hatha Yoga, we use that practice on its own. We use Jalandhar Uddiyana Mula just on its own without the breathing up through Arohana and down through Avarohana. Unmani Mudra, So this is when your head is slightly forward and you're gazing downwards. When you lift your head, this is an added component to Unmani Mudra. You can use Unmani anytime you want to in your asana class, just looking down. That's Unmani. In Kriya Yoga, the added component is when you've breathed up, either the head is straight, centered, or you lift the chin slightly. When you lift your chin, or when your head's straight, your gaze is upwards, not straight up, but just at an angle. And then as you're exhaling, the gaze is moving down. And once you have reached Swadhisthana, the head comes forward. So in the beginning, this can be quite tricky, can be challenging, synchronizing the movement of breath, not moving the head, then moving the head, exhaling, head stays up till the last moment, then the head comes down. This synchronization takes time to establish, doesn't happen quickly. And once you've got it, then you think, oh, why was I challenged with that?
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you learn anything, isn't it? And this is like learning a language. One day it clicks. Yeah? And many people here speak a second language, so you know what I mean when the language clicks. And this is the language of the Kriya Yoga. So we just keep practicing till that click occurs. And I think the slower that we are to learn anything, the better, because we actually are very grounded in that learning then. Yeah. Anything about Unmani that you want to ask? Everyone good? Manduki Asana. I think you did this yesterday.
No, but we'll do it today.
Oh, you're going to do
We
it
did
today.
Uttanapad and we
Yeah.
did Viparita.
Yeah, so you're going to do Unmani. Sorry, you're going to do Manduki, frog pose, so I'm not going to go into that. Manduki is the frog. So there's Manduki Kriya, and then there's Manduki Asana, frog asana. And so, I think I've spoken about Kaki Mudra, and these are all the mudras, bandhas that we practice. And these are all aspects of Hatha Yoga, but, you know, many people don't use these practices from Hatha Yoga. Yeah. Many people just use asana in Hatha Yoga. And Hatha Yoga is made up of more than asana, as you know. There's the cleansing techniques, the Shatkarma. And in Hatha Yoga we include sound, nada, which is in our kriyas also, the sound of Om, the explosive Om. And on that note, it's important with that explosive Om that the AU sound travels from Bindu to Agnya. And from Agnya, so it's not O past Agnya, it's past Agnya. Yeah. So it's really explosive. Om! It's quick, it's sharp.
Because I wasn't sure if I should keep the AU, keep
No.
going, and then just a little bit of M.
Yeah.
But it felt natural for a lot of M. But
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So what happens is when we do Om chanting, and we're chanting with a long A sound, or O sound, the mind is more extroverted. So the A sound predominantly, the mind is more extroverted. If you're doing Om chanting as a practice, notice if you're naturally oh, you're covering up the busyness of the mind. The ooh, oh, the ooh part is subconscious. So you're going into more a subconscious level of your mind and thought processing. And this is going into the unconscious. So what you notice is the mind is more, it's introverting when we're long sound, mind is introverting.
So it's, what's Kaki Mudra?
Closed beat, yeah. And we use that in Karan Kriya when we beat the Kundalini. Yeah. So, on that point of beating the Kundalini, always gently. Yeah? Yeah, not forcefully. And basically it's just to shake the energy up, to wake you up. And I noticed after that Kriya, more people were awake at that stage. Less people were. Not that I'm intently watching, but I do notice these things. And so that's what it does. It wakes you up. It wakes up the energy. Yeah. But we only do it 7 rounds. And that's important to understand. You might like a Kriya and you want to do it and do it and do it. Stick to the number of rounds that are prescribed. Yeah? These Kriyas are prescribed for a certain number of rounds for specific reasons. And don't ask me the reason. I have no idea. I just know that this is the quantity that we use. You know, it's like when you're baking a cake and you put a pinch of salt to draw the flavour out. You don't put a teaspoon of salt. So it's like that. You consider Karan Kriya like a pinch of salt. Yeah, you don't want to overdo something. I know in my life I've been enthusiastic and overdone things. One time, Sri Swamiji used to go away, and he'd go away mid-year in monsoon. Very smart move. and one year he went away and he said to me to increase the duration of my sadhana, my practice. So I stood on my head for half an hour. Yeah, not a good look.
No.
I got really sick afterwards. It was after doing half an hour of Sirshasana, I came down with typhoid fever. I know typhoid's in the water, I understand that, but I actually weakened my system by standing on my head for half an hour.
For how long? Months?
Yeah, it could have been over a period of 3 weeks maybe. So I realised after that, look, you don't stand on your head for half an hour. If you were meant to do that, you'd have feet on your head. Yeah, that was a good lesson to me. It showed me how I get enthusiastic and just too gung-ho. Use that word in Vancouver, gung-ho. Oh. So, the same with the Kriyas, yeah? Everything in moderation, everything in life in moderation. You know what it's like when you overdo something, you eat too much and go, oh. Or it could be anything in life, you know. And so we do these things and then we go, yeah.
I have a question regarding the number of Kriyas. Just with, like you say, when you're in bed at night going to sleep,
Yeah.
do chakra anusandhana.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I'll wake up in the middle of the night, or like I'm having trouble getting to sleep,
Yeah.
and I don't know how many I've done. Like, is that a problem?
Yeah.
It
Keep
is,
a mala beside your bed.
Uh-huh.
So chakra anusandhana, you don't want to do it more than 9 rounds.
Okay.
Yep. So then choose a kriya that will put you to sleep, like Pavan Sanchalan. And Pavan Sanchalan we do 49 rounds. So you have all the mental repetitions.
Okay.
Or the other one, 59 rounds, is Shabda Sanchalan. So you've got so and hum. That's the type of thing
And
that
do
can put you
do
to
those
sleep.
in bed, do those in bed, lying
Yep,
down? Huh?
yep.
Okay.
Yep, have your mala.
And then the other question, if,
pre-mark your mala.
okay.
Yep.
The other question I have
Put it
is,
over there.
if you do it in the morning, with your sadhana in the morning, don't do it in the evening?
Yeah, if you've already done, say you've done 59 rounds.
No, not that one.
You know, I'm just giving you an
yeah,
example.
yeah.
If you've already done 59 rounds, you've completed it, you don't do any more of that one. Yeah. If you've done 4 of chakra anusandhana, then you can do 5 at night.
Okay.
Yeah, so don't exceed the dosage per day.
Okay.
And when we're practicing with you,
Yeah.
we should just do the amount that you tell us.
When we're here,
Yeah.
yeah. I've been, timing it. Fits
So
into the 2
John, we
hours.
just stop and wait till,
Yeah.
okay, thank you.
like I say,
What's,
completing.
sorry, I didn't get that question. Why
Well-
would you stop before somebody says to stop?
Because, I think because some of these Kriyas I've practiced for a long time,
Yeah.
and I have my own rhythm.
Oh, I see, okay.
So she'll do her
I
rhythm,
understand.
Yeah.
and then she says, practice on your own, and then my rhythm will be quicker,
I
and
understand.
I'll be done,
Yeah,
and then I'm like, okay,
yeah.
do I do more?
I
Do
thought you meant
No,
if
no, I
somebody
just-
had given you a different number.
No, no,
Yeah.
no.
Okay.
I'm often finished before you say last round.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I wasn't sure, should I just keep going till you
Yeah,
say
don't
last
just
round?
stop there because you don't want to overdo your dosage.
Okay, thank you. That's what I meant.
Mm.
Yeah, I've been doing the same thing.
Yeah.
too.
Just
kept
stop and
going.
wait, yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Because sometimes you're explaining it and meanwhile I'm doing
You've
it. or
started
something
it,
like that.
yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. Mm. Okay, what's the next slide, please?
Excuse me.
So here we have a picture of what Arohan and Avarohan look like. You might feel with the energy fields that you're locating a point in front of your body. You might feel you're locating it just on the skin. You might feel you're locating it under the skin. It's all good. These are energy fields. With the chakras, we actually want to locate the points like from Bindu to Ajna. Bindu is at the top back portion of your head where the head's a bit flat, and when you push your finger in there's a sensitive spot. This is the point of Bindu. So you locate it right there. The Agni chakras in the very centre of the head, the energy field is at the brow middle, and if you go into the centre of the head, top of the brain stem, you have your Agni chakra. So it's a matter of using your imagination to feel where that point is. It's like a figure eight. So when we do the visualization of the snake spinning, or you're getting it in that figure eight formation, spinning up and around. So that green snake spins in that figure eight formation. Sometimes, as I said, the snake spins off course.
I was curious, like, sometimes you say the chakra points, that's in the back,
Yep,
and then the front isn't
the
the chakra?
energy fields.
And why?
So it's like you've got a light bulb. The chakra is the light bulb. And the light, or say you've got a torch. And the light that's shining forward from the torch is the energy field that you're locating. Does that make sense?
So when I feel it from the front and when I feel it from the back is the light bulb and the
Yes.
front is the chakra.
Yep.
Okay.
Is the energy field, yep, kshetram.
Okay.
So Swadhisthana and Muladhara.
Yeah, very close proximity.
So how do you know which is which?
It's a good question, and this can be confusing. It's easy, I think, if you think of Swadhisthana close to the pubic bone. So you go from the pubic bone towards your spine.
Right.
Yep. And this is a much easier way to start from, because then you know that Muladhara is beneath this. And we say that it's 2 finger widths below, but everyone is different, so it's just a little bit below. Yeah. So this is the measurement that's used a lot, a finger width. It's called an angula. Things are measured in these finger widths, like your breath is measured in so many finger widths. But everyone has different widths of fingers and different, body shape and size. So
So Swamiji, if for women it's the cervix,
at the back of the cervix, yeah.
oh, the back of the
Yeah,
cervix,
yeah.
because I've been visualizing the
Yeah.
opening of the cervix.
Well, that's fine.
Okay, and then, so for both kshetrams, it remains in the same.
For the kshetram of Swadhisthana, go to the pubic bone.
Muladhara.